The graveyard was never supposed to feel alive, but the moment we stepped inside, something felt wrong. My name is Lukas Meyer, and this happened in Munich, Germany, in a place called Waldfriedhof. It was late evening, cold air, wet ground under our shoes, and a grey sky slowly turning dark. We were 4 friends, me, Daniel, Sophia, and Erik, and we just wanted to explore for a few minutes. "Let's not stay long," Sophia said quietly, like the place could hear her. The gate made a long metal sound as we pushed it open, echoing deeper than it should. Inside, the paths were narrow, covered with wet leaves, and graves stood on both sides, some broken, some clean, some looking newer than they should. There were no people anywhere, not even far away. We walked deeper, our footsteps soft against the ground, until Erik suddenly stopped. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. We all froze. Silence. Then a faint sound came from behind us, like slow footsteps. We turned quickly, but there was nothing there. "Probably wind," Daniel said, but his voice sounded tight. We kept moving, but the air felt heavier now, harder to breathe. Then Sophia spoke again. "Guys?" We followed her gaze and saw a woman standing between the graves. She wasn't moving. Long dark dress, hair covering her face, standing too still, like she wasn't alive but placed there. "Hello?" Daniel called out, but there was no answer. We waited in silence. Then she moved, not walking, just closer, without sound, without steps. Now she was only a few meters away. My chest tightened. "Let's go," I whispered. We turned and started walking back, but after a minute Erik stopped again. "This isn't the same path," he said. We looked around. Everything looked the same, but different. The graves were closer now, almost touching the path. "I swear this wasn't here," Sophia said, her hands shaking. We walked faster, and then Daniel said something that made my heart drop. "Wait, where's Erik?" We turned around, but he was gone. No footsteps, no sound, just gone. "Erik!" Sophia shouted, but her voice echoed strangely, coming back wrong, like someone repeated it softly. Then we heard it again. "Erik." But it wasn't her voice. It sounded like something copying her from far away. Then again, closer this time. "Erik." I grabbed Sophia's arm and whispered, "Don't speak." We moved faster, almost running, until we saw a gate ahead. But something was wrong. It looked smaller, further than it should be. When we reached it, it wasn't the same gate. It was broken, old, half buried. "No, this is not right," Daniel said, breathing fast. Then we heard soft footsteps behind us, slow and steady, following. We didn't turn. We didn't want to see her. But Sophia did. She looked back and screamed. I turned, and the woman was right behind us. Her face was unclear, blurred, like it was trying to exist but couldn't. Then she spoke very softly. "You forgot someone." And suddenly Daniel was gone. Just gone. Sophia started crying. "I don't want to be here." I grabbed her hand and said, "We'll get out." But deep inside, I knew this place was not letting us leave. We kept walking, but every path led deeper. The graves started changing. Names were scratched. Dates didn't make sense. Some graves had no names at all. Then Sophia stopped again. "Lucas," she said, her voice empty. I looked at her, and her face was too calm now. "What?" I asked. She pointed to a fresh grave. The soil was still wet. I stepped closer, my breathing slowing, and saw the name, Erik. The date was today. I stepped back, shaking my head, but then another grave appeared next to it. Daniel. Same date. Sophia started shaking. "We are next," she whispered. Then suddenly she went still, completely still. "Sophia?" I said, but she didn't respond. I touched her shoulder, and she slowly turned toward me. Her face looked wrong. Her eyes were empty, and when her lips moved, the voice that came out wasn't hers. "You stayed too long." I stepped back, my heart racing. "No, this isn't real." She smiled, but it wasn't Sophia's smile. It was the woman's. Then she walked away and disappeared between the graves, leaving me alone. I ran. I didn't stop. Somehow I found the exit and fell outside the gate, shaking, unable to breathe properly. The next morning I went back, and the police were there. They told me only 2 people were reported missing. I frowned and said, "No, there were 4 of us." But they looked confused. "There's no record of a Sophia," one officer said. My heart stopped. I tried to remember her face, but I couldn't. It was blank, like she never existed. That night I checked my phone, and in every photo there were only 3 of us. Me, Daniel, and Erik. No Sophia. But in one picture taken inside the graveyard, there was someone else standing behind us. The woman, watching. And next to her was another figure, a girl, standing very still, looking directly at the camera. Her face was blurred, but somehow I knew that was Sophia, or whatever replaced her. The first time I heard the crying, I thought it was a real woman trapped inside the graveyard. But the strange thing was, everyone in the street stopped at the same time, like we all heard the exact same sound together. My name is Adrian Keller, and this happened in Hamburg, Germany, near an old cemetery called Ohlsdorf. It was late evening, the sky dark and heavy, the air cold and wet, and the street lights were flickering like they were struggling to stay on. I was walking home when I heard it. A woman crying, not loud, not screaming, just soft, broken crying, like someone trying not to be heard. I stopped. My body went still. The sound was coming from inside the graveyard. I looked around. Other people had stopped too. A man on a bicycle, a couple walking their dog. Even a taxi driver had stepped out of his car. We all looked at each other. No one spoke, because we all knew We were hearing the same thing. "Do you hear that?" someone whispered. No one answered. The crying continued. Slow, deep, painful. It didn't sound fake. It sounded real. Too real. Like someone was hurt. Like someone needed help. "We should check," the man with the bicycle said. His voice was unsure. No one moved at first. Then, slowly, a few people walked toward the gate. I don't know why, but I followed. The gate was slightly open, moving slowly with the wind. A low metal creak repeating again and again. Inside, the graveyard looked darker than the street. The light didn't reach properly. The paths were wet. The ground smelled like soil and something old. The crying was clearer now. Still soft. Still controlled. Like the person didn't want to be found, but also wanted someone to come. "Hello?" a woman called out. No answer. Only crying. We stepped inside, 5 of us now, walking slowly, shoes pressing against wet gravel, the sound echoing too much. The deeper we went, the quieter everything else became. No cars, no wind, just that crying and our breathing. Then something strange happened. The crying changed direction. It sounded closer, but when we turned toward it, it shifted again, like it didn't want us to reach it. "This isn't right," the taxi driver said, his voice shaking. We stopped walking. The crying stopped too, instantly. Silence. Heavy, uncomfortable. My ears started ringing. "Did it stop?" someone whispered. And then it started again, right behind us. We all turned at the same time, but there was no one there. Only empty graves, dark stones, long shadows. My heart started beating faster. I could feel it in my throat. "We should leave," I said quietly. But no one moved, because now the crying sounded different. It wasn't sad anymore. It sounded closer to laughing, very low, almost hidden, like someone pretending to cry. Then the man with the bicycle stepped forward. "I see something," he said. We followed his gaze. Between 2 graves, there was a shape. A woman, sitting on the ground, head down, hair covering her face, shoulders shaking slowly, crying. Finally, someone real. Relief hit me for a second. "Are you okay?" the woman from earlier asked. No response. The crying continued. We moved closer, slowly, carefully. My shoes made a soft sound on the wet ground. The air felt colder now. My hands were shaking. "Ma'am?" the taxi driver said. Still no answer. We were only a few steps away now, close enough to see her clearly. Her dress was old, dirty, wet at the edges. Her hands were pale, too pale, and her crying didn't match her movement. Her shoulders moved, but the sound was slightly delayed, like audio out of sync. My stomach tightened. Something was wrong. "Let's go," I whispered. But it was too late. The man with the bicycle stepped even closer. "Hey," he said softly. The woman stopped crying. Instantly. Complete silence. He froze. We all froze. Then, very slowly, she lifted her head. Not fully, just enough. Her face was still hidden, but I saw something. Her mouth was open, too wide, not natural. And then she spoke. Not loudly, not clearly, but we all heard it. "You all came." My skin went cold. The voice didn't sound like one person. It sounded like many voices, layered together, slightly out of sync. The man stepped back. "What the hell?" he whispered. And then she stood up. Too fast, too smooth. Like she wasn't using muscles, just rising. Her head tilted slightly, still not showing her face. And then she pointed at us, one by one, slowly, like counting. My chest tightened. I couldn't move. "You heard me," she said, the voices overlapping again. "So you stayed." The air became heavy, hard to breathe. I tried to step back, but my legs felt weak. Then suddenly, the man with the bicycle dropped to his knees. No sound, just collapsed. We all turned. "Hey! Hey!" someone shouted, but he wasn't responding. His eyes were open but empty, like he wasn't there anymore. "What did you do?" the taxi driver shouted. The woman didn't move. "He listened," she said softly. Then another person fell. The woman who had first spoken. She collapsed the same way. No struggle, no sound, just gone. Panic hit me. I tried to run, but the path didn't look the same anymore. The graves were closer, taller, blocking the way. "No, no, no," I whispered. The crying started again, but this time it was louder, coming from everywhere, all around us, like the whole graveyard was crying. I covered my ears, but I could still hear it, inside my head. "Stop," I said. "Please stop." Then I noticed something. The crying had different tones, different voices, different ages. Men, women, children, all crying together. My breathing became fast, shallow. I looked around. The remaining people were gone. Just gone. No sound, no movement. I was alone, except for her. She was closer now, standing right in front of me, her face still hidden. "Why me?" I whispered. She tilted her head slowly. Then she leaned closer. I could smell something. Wet soil, rot, cold air. And then she whispered right next to my ear, "Because you stayed the longest." My body went numb, my vision blurred, and then everything went black. When I woke up, I was outside the graveyard, lying on the ground. Morning light, cold air. My head hurt. I sat up slowly. People were walking normally, cars passing, like nothing happened. I looked at my hands. Clean. No dirt. No marks. It felt unreal. I stood up and walked away. I didn't go back. I didn't tell anyone. But something stayed with me. Every night, at the same time, I hear it again. That crying. Not outside, not in the street. Inside my room. Very soft, very close. And sometimes, when I stop moving and listen carefully, I hear something else behind the crying. A voice, whispering, counting, slowly, like she's still counting. How many people heard her and stayed? I should not have stopped the car that night because the woman I picked up never told me where she was going. And the worst part is, I still don't know if I ever dropped her anywhere. My name is Leon Richter, and this happened near Black Forest, Germany, on a long, empty road that runs beside an old graveyard. It was past midnight. The road was wet. The trees were tall and silent, and the fog was low, moving slowly across the ground like something alive. I was driving back home after a late shift. My headlights were the only light on that road. No cars, no people, just darkness. Then I saw her, standing near the entrance of the graveyard. A woman, wearing a long dark coat. Her hair slightly wet, covering part of her face. She wasn't waving, she wasn't moving, just standing and looking at the road. As my car got closer, I felt something strange. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. My heartbeat slowed instead of rising, like my body didn't want to react normally. I passed her. I didn't stop, but in my mirror I saw something that made my chest go cold. She turned her head, slowly following my car with her eyes. But her body didn't move, only her neck. And it moved too far, too smoothly. I drove a little further. My breathing felt heavy. The road ahead looked longer than usual, like it was stretching. Then suddenly I heard a soft sound inside the car. A voice. Please, stop. I froze. My hands went cold. I looked at the passenger seat. It was empty. I pulled the car over, my heart now racing. I checked the back seat. Nothing. No one. I told myself I was imagining things. Just stress. Just tired. So I started driving again. But after a few seconds I saw her again, standing ahead on the road. Same place, same position, like I had never passed her. I slowed down. My mind felt confused. This wasn't possible. I stopped the car this time, the engine running low, the fog moving around the headlights. She slowly walked toward the passenger side. Not fast, not slow, just steady. Her steps made no sound. She opened the door and sat inside without asking. I didn't stop her. I didn't speak. I couldn't. My throat felt dry. The air inside the car became colder. I could see my breath now. Thank you, she said softly. Her voice calm, too calm. Where do you need to go? I asked, trying to sound normal. She didn't answer. She just looked straight ahead, her hands resting on her lap, very still. I started driving again. The road looked the same. But something felt wrong. The trees looked closer, the fog thicker, the silence heavier. After a few minutes, I tried again. "Where should I drop you?" She turned her head slowly toward me. Her eyes looked normal but empty, like they were not focused on anything real. "Just drive," she said. My stomach tightened. I kept driving. The car felt slower even though the speed was the same. Then I noticed something. The fuel indicator was dropping quickly. Too quickly. I frowned. That was not possible. I had enough fuel for hours. But now it was almost empty. "This doesn't make sense," I whispered. She smiled slightly, not looking at me. "It will be enough," she said quietly. My grip on the wheel became tighter. The road ahead looked unfamiliar now. I didn't recognize it anymore. Then suddenly she spoke again. "Do you remember passing me before?" My breath stopped. I didn't answer. "You didn't stop," she continued. "Most don't." Her voice had changed slightly, still soft but heavier, like there was something behind it. "But you came back," she added. I shook my head. "No, I didn't come back." She didn't reply. She just kept looking forward. Then, after a long silence, she said something that made my hands shake. "You always come back." The air inside the car felt thick, hard to breathe. I looked outside. The trees were gone. Now there were only graves. On both sides of the road, endless rows of graves. My heart started pounding. "Where are we?" I said, my voice shaking. She didn't answer. Instead, she raised her hand slowly and pointed ahead. "There." I followed her finger. In the distance, I saw something. A small open space, a freshly dug grave, right in the middle of the road. I slammed the brakes. The car stopped hard. My breathing was fast, my hands shaking. "What is this?" I whispered. She turned to me slowly. This time her face looked different. Not broken, not scary. Just wrong, like it didn't belong to her. "This is where you stop," she said calmly. My heart dropped. No, I'm leaving." I tried to restart the car. The engine didn't respond. I tried again. Nothing. The fuel indicator was now empty completely. No, I said under my breath. Then I heard something. A faint sound from outside. Scraping. Soft but clear, like something moving through soil. I looked at the grave. The dirt was shifting, slowly rising. My chest tightened. My body froze. Then I realized something. The sound wasn't coming from the grave. It was coming from behind me, inside the car. I turned slowly, my breath shaking. The back seat had dirt on it, wet soil, spreading slowly. And then, handprints appeared, pressing from inside the seat, like something was trying to come through. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. "What is happening?" I whispered. She leaned closer to me. Very slowly, I could feel the cold coming from her. "You picked me up," she said softly. "So now, someone else will take your place." My vision blurred, my ears ringing. The handprints grew stronger, the seat tearing slightly. Then suddenly, everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was outside, standing near the graveyard. The same road, the same fog. My car was gone. My body felt light, empty. I looked down. My hands were clean. No dirt, no marks. Then I heard a sound, a car approaching, headlights cutting through the fog. I turned slowly. A car stopped in front of me, the driver looking tired, confused. I stepped forward, without thinking, without control. And I heard myself speak in a calm, soft voice. "Please, can you give me a lift?" The driver hesitated. I watched his face, his fear, his confusion, and I realized something terrifying. I wasn't asking for help anymore. I was waiting for him to say yes.